We got a really insane story right here. Check this out. Cops kill mentally ill black man over fruit. New York cops kill mentally ill black man for eating fruit. So, yeah, it's gonna get crazy here, but you're gonna see why. Check this out.
New York cops kill a mentally ill individual while he's eating fruit. Let's put up the picture full mass.
Here it is.
Now an investigation is being ordered. New York Attorney General orders an investigation into the killing of a mentally ill man who was having an episode. Jarrell Garris, 37 years of age, died 1 week after being shot by an officer in New Rochelle, New York, after being accused of stealing fruit. That's according to Fox 5 New York. Garris was approached by police around 4:30 p.m. after he was allegedly seen eating a banana and grapes from a grocery store in Lincoln Avenue, near North Avenue. After 911 was called, Mr. Garris was approached by Detective Stephen Kahn. And officers Kerry Bird and Gabrielle Chaudhry about food theft. The situation escalated when Garris, the victim, decided to avoid the officers by crossing the street with his hands in his pocket. Remember, he was experiencing a mental health episode. One of the officers said, "Hey, listen, we're just trying to have a conversation. What were you doing in the store? You were eating the food? ? Shortly after no answer from Garris, "You're under arrest," said Officer Khan. Then Garris asked, "For what?" Coincidental body cam failure. Immediately following the question and responses between the officers and Mr. Garris, the body cam video then shows two of the officers attempted to arrest Garris, and a struggle ensues as one of the officers yells to taser him. A few seconds later, the male cop yells, "He's got a gun! He's got a gun!" The video, which at this point appears to show Garris with a small object in one hand, ends before the actual shooting. According to the police, Garris went for one of the
I don't buy that for a second.
Guns. Come to me.
Cops lie all the time.
We've had officers tell us right here at Indisputable that they will yell gun in order to justify a killing.
Yep.
They've told us this off record. They've said it directly to us. They will yell the word gun to provide the legal defense necessary so that they can get away with murder. Now, why does that allow them to get away with murder?
Qualified immunity speaks for one word. You know, how many times have I seen a video where cops yell, "Gun, gun, 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 pop, 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 pop," you know, and but there's no gun.
They are allowed to have what's called a subjective standard when it comes to killing somebody. Meaning, as long as they can prove that in their minds, they believe that there was a gun, even though there was not one.
Yeah, and they could justify that because they got qualified immunity to back them up. And then cops, what is their go-to line? We were fear for our lives. We were fear for our safety. So they'll justify that go-to, and they say, "Oh, we presumed that the suspect had a gun, so we yelled gun," and that was the takedown move. And that's when you start hearing then all of a sudden the cops open fire, and they just make it rain until the clip is empty.
As long as they believed it was, they can kill someone legally. So they will yell, "Gun," when there's no gun. Now, when you hear the audio, "He has a gun," is very different from "He's trying to grab my gun," which wasn't said. This was part of the spin, ladies and gentlemen. Justice for Jarrell, all right? Garris died on Westchester Medical Center. He died at that medical center 1 week after being on life support, okay? During a New Rochelle City Council meeting on July 11th, the community demanded that all of the body cam footage be released in the name of transparency. That's the reason we have the body cam. Release it. The family attorney, William O. Wagstaff III, says that the public has been given the veneer of transparency.
So they haven't released the body cam footage yet?
The family attorney said, quote, "We've gotten what appears to be a veneer of transparency. What true transparency means is releasing all video,
Exactly.
all information.
It's about accountability
and
as well.
they haven't done it. Acting president of the NAACP in New Rochelle, Asia says.
And the problem was with cops as well as too. You know, when cops when they looked at as heroes and they do well, you know, they'll release the body cam footage almost immediately. But when they know they messed up in the job or unjustified killing or arrests like that, it takes months, if not years, to FOIA that body cam footage. They need to cops should be They need to be transparency at releasing all body cam footage, even if it makes them look like shit. Even if it makes it look bad, it doesn't matter. There's a reason why they have body cameras or dash cam like that. Yeah, like I said, they'll release it when they look good, or yeah, we made a righteous buzzer, or arrest like that. But when they know they messed up, it takes a long time. Sometimes they don't release it at all, because sometimes they'll delete it or backtrack it or play like, the body cam malfunction.
The police are not the judge and jury
and executioner.
Garris reportedly suffered from schizophrenia.
And the problem I have as well too is that somebody who's committed a crime, yes, they should go see a judge. They should have their bond set, do their sentence like that. But no way in hell anybody should ever meet their maker over a petty crime, or if it's like property or like a car or goods or food or anything like that. Nobody should ever meet their maker.
And other mental health issues. According to his family, Reverend Jamal Hollis noted that he was having an episode on the day he was shot and criticized the grocery store for calling the police in the first place. It is obvious that that day he was having an episode, said Hollis, the family reverend. I think it's important to know that when you own a store in a community and you have the community patronize your business, there should be some know-how and empathy in how you treat everybody in that community. I concur 100%.
Exactly.
These are community supported for-profit entities. They have an obligation to their local community. There was a situation in Atlanta where a convenience store had over 70 carjackings in less than 1 year. They refused to put up cameras. They refused to put security on the premises. And then a judge got carjacked at the same place. No one knew about the aggregate data of that many carjackings. Did I make the news? Now, when the judge got carjacked, all of a sudden, we all aware damn near 80 people have been carjacked in less than a year. It made it to my desk. I called the chairman of the county commission for Fulton County at that time. I said this store needs to have security cameras and they need to have a 24-hour security team in order to protect the residents. The chairman told me that he was powerless to do so. This was a Wednesday. On that Thursday, I made another call so that the store would simply enact security measures to protect the community. Nothing happened. That Friday, I called for my radio listeners to shut down that store. And they did. We shut down that store Monday, from Friday to Monday. Nobody could enter that property. On Monday, I got a call from the chairman of the county commission. They said, we think we've worked something out. On that Tuesday, they had a $20,000+ security system and a 24-hour security staff at that location. Don't allow these establishments to tell you no. They are in your community, all right? Yours. Okay. Dear brother, this is, once again, another element of our cause and effect of how we deal with those experiencing a mental health crisis and the responsibility needed from not only law enforcement, but also private entities that benefit from the community. What say you?
I'm glad you gave us detail about that last item that you presented, because it kind of gives me hope, but it's kind of also infuriating that it had to come to that, to where now there's suddenly not only funding, but know-how in order to get the necessary infrastructure to keep people safe. So with that said, as you alluded to earlier, when it comes to he's got a gun, never mind the fact that they didn't say he's trying to take my gun, he's got a gun. The same thing is said when it comes to resisting arrest. He's resisting, say it out loud a few times, then they can do what they came to do in the first place. No de-escalation techniques, none of that. Going straight to what they know how to do, which is brutality in this situation.
Yeah. And many are saying, well, it was obvious he was having a mental health issue. This was not someone trying to commit crimes against humanity.
You know, it's just crazy. Cops been trying to justify, you know, saying we're calling us that person has a gun or like that, or they sit there thinking like, or if you're holding an object or if you're holding a camera or phone, they consider it as a gun. I got something even more bizarre and crazier than that about cops, how they try to detain you, arrest you. I got one right here. This is from a First Amendment auditor. Let me see who. Let me go to here for a second. This is from Riverside County Accountability. Just a real quick clip. Real quickie. Yeah, this guy was filming on a public street and sidewalk, and you got five cruisers, cop cars around there, and a helicopter, and all these cops had their guns drawn on this guy. For what? He was simply filming in public. And they're all like that. Check this out. This is bizarre. It's only a minute long, but really crazy.
Put the camera down. Turn around, walk backwards to the sound of my voice.
It's gonna fall if I set it down. I don't want it to break. No, it doesn't.
Absolutely crazy. Wow. So this is what it's come down to, ladies and gentlemen. This is why we should always film the police out there. When they tell you, oh, you stop recording, or put your phone away, your camera away. No, you keep recording, because when it comes to that, when you're just simply exercising your First Amendment of freedom of press and assembly and freedom of court like that, and you're gonna have cops come out here like a SWAT tactical team out there. They're going to treat you like you're a high-profile criminal, like you committed a heinous rape or a murder. Over what? Filming in public. Absolutely absurd. It is really absurd, and this is why we need accountability and transparency for the police this day. What can you say? This is like turning to Nazi Germany, ladies and gentlemen. It really is. Is this Atlanta free? No. This is starting to turn to the United States a police nation, where police just take over and violate your rights and trample your rights and infringement your rights. With that said, I'm out here much. I'll peace out.